Hey guys, it's Austin Doctor, and welcome back to another review of Yuuna the Hot Springs. And I'm just going to say, last episode, I know I didn't cover it, it was great. I love to see Yaya and Sagari's good old background, and this episode was actually really good. So let's get into the review. So, we see Chisaki, or Chisaki, ask how Yuuna looks like, or how she is. And she actually wants to talk to Yuuna, and Yuuna actually wants to talk to her. So Kogarashi is trying to figure out a way, and he ends up saying, "Oh, why don't you use a pen and paper to talk to Chisaki?" And basically, this ends up being a bad thing for Chisaki. And Yuuna actually starts to talk to her during class, and Chisaki actually found out about Yuuna and Kogarashi living in the same room, and she gets mad at Kogarashi, and she thinks Kogarashi is a pervert and will attack Yuuna. And she held this out during class, and she gets in trouble, obviously. Then her punishment is to kind of sort stuff at the end of the day out, and Yuuna is helping her. And Chisaki actually lets Yuuna inspect her school uniform as like thanks for helping her out at the end. And Yuuna actually takes off Chisaki's uniform, and I'm like, oh, this is setting up for a wonderful scene. I can bet you. So Yuuna actually kind of takes Chisaki's hand and helps her picture Yuuna by putting her hand on Yuuna's like body and everything, and she thinks Yuuna's a very pretty girl just by touching her. And then of course Kogarashi comes out the worst time and sees them both naked, well, almost naked on top of each other, and I'm just like, Kogarashi, you got some bad luck. But we actually see that Yuuna has a uniform finally, and it looks really good on her in my opinion. And Chisaki actually takes a photo of Yuuna, and she doesn't really look like, Yuuna doesn't look like Yuuna. She looks like one of the ghosts you'd see in the cartoon, and she kind of makes the ghost look pretty and makes Yuuna very happy. And I actually really like that beginning part. It kind of was a sweet kind of intro to it, and I'm very happy Yuuna kind of is progressing and having more friends, just not Kogarashi. And it's interesting to see how everything's going in. I'm very happy because Nonko actually has her side story finally, and we meet Rui, which is her like chief editor, and she's an actual manga artist because she called Nonko Sensei. And we actually see Noko's room finally, and it's actually, for a manga artist, it's very clean. Because all the animes I've seen with manga artists, the rooms are never that clean. I mean, there's beer bottles and cans all over the place, but it's not as bad as, some other ones. But, hey, what can you do? But we actually see Noko's very, very, very close to her deadline and doesn't have much done, so she kind of asks Kogarashi for help. And we see Nonko, like a different side of her, being extremely serious working on her manga. And Nonko has a breakdown about her male character. Basically, kind of, the trope of the older woman not having a man, kind of angry at the world kind of trope we see in the anime. That's kind of what it was. And I laugh at it because it's hilarious. It's not used that often. It was used on Russ Weissa and DxD, and that was hilarious, honestly. But if you didn't know, a little background on that trope, I'm going to teach you something. It's because in the Japanese culture, if you're not married by a certain time, this is how it used to be actually a while ago in America. If you weren't married by a certain time, it's very weird, and you're kind of looked down upon because you're not perfect in a sense. It's kind of appearance, I guess. But enough of that. We actually see Nonko make Kogarashi dress up and hold her for a reference, and Nonko actually makes Kogarashi go a bit too far for her reference photos, and poor guy, he has to, she made him grope her, push her on her bed, do extremely close things. I'm like, I hope I'm still watching an anime. I still hope I'm watching it. I'm kidding. I know people are gonna take that a bit too far because people hate ecche, but it wasn't anything over the top like Test and the Sister New Devil, so calm down. I don't want to hear that stuff. But we see they make Kogarashi, Rui, and Nonko cross-dress, and they spent too much time fooling around with the reference photos and didn't work on the thing, and it's 12 o'clock, and she needs to turn this in by, tomorrow, or at 6 o'clock. So they kind of rush to do it, and we kind of see Kogarashi talk to Nonko, and kind of we hear about Noko's past. She used to be a yokai hunter, and one day she got really badly hurt, and she had to rethink her life because she didn't want to die not doing anything she didn't enjoy. So after that, she took jobs left and right to enjoy what she wants to do, and she did the manga to kind of because she liked it, and she feels that she's running away from the actual battle, but Kogarashi says, no, you're not drinking, you're not doing anything bad, you're actually focusing on it, and that's respectable. I'm like, Kogarashi, you're a good man, but you have some bad luck, you really do. But it was a nice touch with that. Then Nonko actually finished her manuscript and gave it to her chief, and she starts to drink with Kogarashi, and I know people are like, wait, Kogarashi's in high school. Look, at this point, it's anime, anything can happen, so don't really, for a comedy, don't ever pay attention to the details. I'm being honest, it's a comedy. But we see that Nonko kind of puts Kogarashi's face into her cleavage, and the girls come into her room, and of course Sagiri gets very mad that Yuuna defends Kogarashi. You know, maybe she's drunk, and so he actually calmed down. Then at the end, Nonko stripped. And honestly, this was a good episode. I'm really digging the side stories for each character, because some animes, Darling the Franxx, don't really like to do all the characters sometimes, you know? Yeah, I really should get that cough checked out. It sounds like a really bad ending. But yeah. Overall, amazing episode. I really cannot say there's no bad girl. They're all best girls in this anime. And it's really rare when you have a lot of good girls in the anime, especially in the ecchi. And I'm going to be honest, I know this is going to piss a couple people off. I think this is a little better than DxD's, how they have their character. I know everyone has their preference, but in this one, I honestly just can't pick one. I really can't. And that's kind of hard to believe with me because, you know, hey, Austin, you always go after the girl with the biggest oppa. I'm like, I know. But this time, I can't decide. I really can't. But anyways, guys, this is Austin the Doctor signing out. I will see you later. Peace.